Hey guys, how's it going? It's been such a long time that I released the video. My life's been pretty hectic with work and among other things. But for today, we're going to talk about the Fujifilm XT5. This bad boy right here. Right off the bat, I love this camera so much. I'm biased towards the retro style body design of this camera here. And on the XT4, XT3, XT2, and XT1. Like you really can't go wrong with this camera. All you do is photos, stills, taking photos of people, places, things, everything around you. Then, I mean, this is so good. This is perfect. Check this out. Like, they brought back the tilt screen. You know, it makes my job as a photographer so much easier. You can tilt it front, back, you can pull it down, or you can do, this guy. You can just, tilt it down. So my very first Fujifilm camera was the XT4. Such a badass camera. Everything it does at the time, its price point, it was light and compact, and it's a really good hybrid camera. I ran with that camera for around 2 years and decided to upgrade, well, maybe not upgrade, but yeah, I guess you can call it upgrade to the XH2. And it was very different from like the design of the XT4, and me jumping from that to the bigger, bulkier XH2. I love the XH2 because just with the fact that the grip, it's much bigger than XT4 and bigger than XT5, right? It feels better on the hand. But using the XH2, it wasn't as fun when I was using the XT4. When I had the XT4 as my primary camera. The thing I love about the XT series, well, these designs here, is that it's fun to use, and the XH2 is definitely not fun to use. It felt mechanical. So quick body comparison. This is XT5, and this is XT4. I doubt you would be able to tell the difference. Design-wise, they're largely the same, aside from the fact that the XT4 has the flip screen. So the XT3 had the tilt screen, then they switched over to flip screen. Which isn't bad, right? Like if you're vlogging or you're taking like videos and whatnot, it's quite helpful, but not so much for stills. This is actually smaller. Okay, so spec-wise, the XT5 has the same internals as the XH2, but it does lack some video features like the 8K 30 frames per second, and I believe that there's an additional crop. This is about $200 Canadian less than the XH2. As I mentioned in my past videos, that I'm not a technical guy. I'm just a dude with a camera that loves taking photos of people. And for this video, honestly, it's just all about my experience using the XT5, and I have nothing bad to say about this. It's just because it's so fun to use. Much more fun than me using the XH2. Basically, the XT5 and the XH2 are basically the same cameras. Now, comparing the XT5 with the XT4, XT5 a little smaller than the XT4. New sensor, new processor, 40 megapixel sensor, 26 megapixel sensor and an older processor, and this has better video features compared to the XT4 because this can shoot in 422 10-bit. 422 in a small compact camera for that in that price range, that you can't go wrong with that. Since the XT5 and XH2 are basically the same cameras, the autofocus performance are equal to each other. So there's no advantages or disadvantages if you were to use XT5 or over the XH2 or XH2 over the XT5. I enjoy shooting photos with this XT5 over my XH2 by 2 folds. This is now my main camera for all my photo needs, and I'll be using my XH2 as my second camera, or if I need to shoot video, mainly video, that'll be my to-go camera because of the fact that it has better. So the JPEGs, the RAW files, the color space that's coming out of the XT5, it's the same as the XH2, which is a good thing because that way I can still use the same presets I've made for my XH2 and apply it on my XT5 image files. So no changes in workflow, which is great. So I've owned this camera for I think about 3 months, and I was able to hold multiple portrait sessions, couples engagement sessions with the XT5. And for the rest of the video, I will show you guys some of the photos I've taken and B-roll and all that stuff, and behind the scenes of me using the camera. And yeah, let's get started. I mentioned earlier that I really love using the XT5 for my photography over the XH2. Using the XT5 for photography, it's so much fun over the XH2. I believe it's just like a personal preference for me. It's just that like I got into using Fujifilm starting with the XT4, and I just love the compact and retro design and like the fun factor behind it. And when I bought the XH2, like, yeah, I mean, everything that is in the XH2, it's amazing. It's great. It does its job great with the 40 megapixels, the improved autofocus, but it lacked that fun factor. When I used the XH2, I always think back, oh man, I really wish I brought my XT4 with me over the XH2. But thankfully, now that I own the XT5, that problem is non-existent anymore. As a content creator and as a photographer, as a visual artist, you can give me like the most budget spec camera in the world, but as long as I have fun, nothing beats that, in my opinion. The one thing I really appreciate using the XT5 over the XT4 and the XH2 is the fact that it's smaller than the two, but packs a lot of spec in that small form factor. And that tilt screen though that they brought back with the XT5, it was a game changer for me because using the flip screen on the XT4 and XH2, I always felt that was really awkward, especially when you're trying to get like specific angles and whatnot, like over the top angle or below or side to side. I never felt right, but with the addition of the tilt screen now that comes with XT5, I have an easier time making those same shots. Again, the fact that it's compact and it's a great travel camera. I hated that idea of lugging my XH2 around with me because the fact that it's such a big camera, and I do tend to get looks by other people when I travel. But now carrying the XT5 around for travel now, it's less noticeable, more compact, not as heavy either, and like the fact that I can get a full day worth of travel shooting and I'd still have like a quarter of the battery left. So thank God for the better CPU to battery efficiency. Anyways guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you liked the video. Hit the like button. You got more content, hit subscribe. Take care guys.